Hello and welcome back to North East Nostalgic. Today we're walking along Roker Pier, one of Sunderland's historic gems that transformed Roker into an Edwardian tourist destination. I can't imagine how many times I've walked up and down this pier and couldn't imagine that coastline without it. Sunderland's booming port was increasingly bringing in more and more cargo ships full of coal and produce, with the two projecting piers proving inadequate for protecting the harbour. Safe passage for ships into the city was a priority, with a solution proposed to try and absorb the powerful waves from the North Sea. The hazardous route through the mouth of the River Wear was fraught with danger, with only a pair of beacons being marked for guidance through the port. By the end of the 19th century, Sunderland became the largest shipbuilding town in the world. The city needed better docking and shipping defences to help cope with the amount of traffic that was passing through the mouth of the River Wear. The two piers in place were almost 100 years old and needed to be modernised to ensure the prosperity of the flourishing port town. A solution had to be found. How did the idea of Roker Pier come about? Chief Engineer of the River Wear Commission, Henry Wake, came up with the idea of having two much larger piers curving out into the North Sea. The piers would come out from the shore on each side, creating a 125-acre area of protected water that ships could navigate through. Following an Act of Parliament allowing the construction of the new North Pier, later known as the Roker Pier, construction began in 1885. The foundation stone was laid on the 14th of September 1885 by Sir James Lane, chairman of the River Wear Commission. How was Roker Pier built? It's crazy to think something so big was made especially in times without modern construction and machinery, especially in the middle of such a wild coastline. First, sand was removed above the bedrock, going as deep as 120 feet. After the sand was removed, bags of concrete weighing between 56 and 116 tonnes were dropped dry into the sea, just where the pier was going to be built, solidifying in the salt water. Considered an amazing feat of Victorian engineering at the time, granite-faced blocks were loaded onto wagons at the River Wear Works by a gantry crane nicknamed Goliath, before being unloaded and placed at the end of the pier by a Titan crane. The Goliath crane ran along purpose-built tracks that you can still see on the surface of the pier today, taking away the myth that trams once ran on Roker Pier. The many granite blocks along the coastline gave the area the nickname the Blockyard, and it stuck. When the pier was constructed, a tunnel was left in the centre of the pier, running from the entrance of the pier to the lighthouse's basement. Initially created to carry gas and water pipes for the crane, the tunnel served as a way for lighthouse keepers to get to the lighthouse during bad weather, and is also where Roker Pier do their amazing tours. Keep an eye out for the glass skylights that sit at 60-foot intervals along the floor, giving much needed light to the dark tunnel below. Once the main section of the pier was completed, the round head which the Roker Lighthouse sits on was constructed. Henry Wake laid the final stone, which was part of the walkway near the lighthouse in 1903. The crane worked away for 18 years, building up the pier and the spectacular lighthouse that coincidentally is on brand with Sunderland colours. With red and white colours reminiscent of a Sunderland football strip, Roker Lighthouse looks to have been made of Mackem through and through. The eye-catching colourway was actually a coincidence due to the alternating red and grey Aberdeen granite used in the construction. The lighthouse has never been painted, with its colouring dulling over time with the battering of the northern weather. Roker Lighthouse stands at 23 metres tall, with an incredible light being visible 15 miles out to sea. Did you know that the pier reaches out 609 metres out into the North Sea? In total, Roker Pier and Lighthouse took 18 years to build, at a total cost of £290,000 at the time, which is over £38 million in today's money. Roker Pier was opened on the 23rd of September 1903 by the Earl of Durham, with a toast being made to the King, Royal Family, the Earl of Durham, the Mayor and Henry Hay Wake. As all great Mackems love the chance to celebrate, the opening of the pier and the lighthouse was no exception. In typical Edwardian fashion, a fabulous dinner was organised to mark the occasion. A 4-course meal was served, including boiled leg of mutton with caper sauce, rabbit pies and oxtail soup. Such an absolutely strange combination. Roker Pier and Lighthouse have been an iconic landmark for Sunderland since the dramatic opening, although they required an extensive programme of restoration in 2012, following decades of not being used. Sympathetically restored to its former glory, the lighthouse and pier were transformed inside and out. A new entrance to the pier tunnels marked the final stage of the restoration, with guided tours being a possibility. I'm yet to go on a tour, but I cannot wait to see the tunnel below the pier and go up into the lighthouse one day. I hope you loved this video. Please like and subscribe if you did, and I'll see you soon.